I'm going to make a quick video on horizontal and vertical lines in Desmos. So if you go to Desmos and you log in, and you can either just in a blank new graph if you want to just test stuff out, or again, if you want to go to where you're actually working on your math art project, you can click the folder, select the graph, and then you can work wherever you are working. I'm going to go to a new graph for this. Okay, so vertical and horizontal lines. Vertical lines are basically just x equals and then wherever you want the vertical line to be. So again, this is going to be a vertical line, and y equals and then a number is going to be a horizontal line. So again, if I want a horizontal line at 4, I would just change this to be 4 and get a horizontal line. If I want a vertical line at 2, I would change this to be 2 and I get a vertical line at 2. Okay. So again, like say I was trying to make maybe a house where I want a wall, and then I wanted like a roof, and then I want another wall. So I'll put another wall at -2. I would do x equals -2. So again, what I am saying here is that x equals number makes a vertical line, y equals number makes a horizontal line. Okay. Now the thing with this, okay, is that oftentimes I don't want the entire line. Like say on this blue line, I only want it to run from -2 to +2. Like I only want this segment right here where my mouse is. I don't want all this extra over here on the right and all this extra on the left. So what you can do is you can go this blue line. So this is this one, y, okay? And I want it to only run from -2 to 2. Well, -2 and 2 are x coordinates. I only want the x coordinates to go from -2 to 2. So here's what you do. We did this when we did our Desmos letter. If you weren't here for that, you do keypad. You're looking for the curly brace. Okay, so curly brace is right here. This is also this would be shift and then the bracket button on your keyboard, which is to the right of the letter P. But again, you can just use the Desmos keypad. You're going to click this. Okay. This in math is a set. So you're basically going to tell Desmos that you don't want to use all of the numbers for y equals 4. You only want to use some of them. And you only want to use the numbers that are between -2 and 2. So then what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, I want to go from -2 to 2. Okay, but again, we're talking about our x. So we want our x to be between -2 and 2. So we're going to say we want x to be bigger than -2. X is greater than or equal to -2, so it gives me all the numbers bigger than -2. But we want it to be smaller than +2. And then that trims my line segment. Okay, so again, if for instance, on this green line now, I only want it to run from here to here, and I don't want the extra on top and the extra on bottom, okay? Well, I'm saying I want it to run from 0 to 4, okay? From 0 to 4. I want it to run from 0 to 4 on y. This is up and down. Up and down is y, so I'm looking at the y coordinate, okay? From 0 to 4. So I do the same thing. I go over here to my green line. I put in a curly brace, okay? I want it to go from 0, okay? So I want my y's to be bigger than 0, but I want them to be smaller than 4. Okay, so again, what this says is y bigger than 0, but smaller than 4. Okay, and that gives me just the segment. So again, over here, I'll do this one more time. This would be the same thing. I want it to go from 0 to 4, or let's say I'm trying to make like a backwards letter H, like kind of like a chair. So let's say I want it to run from 0 to up here, 8. I want it to stop at 8. I want just this right here where I'm dragging my mouse. Again, I'd go to my red line. I would put in the curly brace. I say, hey, I want it to go from 0 to 8. Again, I'm talking about the variable y. I'm talking about up and down. So I want the y values to be bigger than 0, but smaller than 8. I can close the curly brace. And there we go. And then again, if I'm making my picture and hey, maybe I want to adjust that, I want it to be just 6. I can change this to be just 6. Or, hey, maybe I don't want it to start at the x-axis. Maybe I want it to start at 2. Then I could go and change this for 2. This trimming, I'll make another video separate on just trimming, but this actually works for more than just horizontal and vertical lines. It works for everything. So I'll talk about that with circles here in a minute. But that's horizontal and vertical lines.